Will's been in the chat for a long time. Like real live or I got it pulled up on my iPad. Can they hear us? Okay. Week 0. I'm gonna throw up the O like the Oregon Ducks. Do that shit, that Illuminati stuff they used to do in high school. Well, it was like Jay-Z used to do that, and then everybody's like, "Oh, he's in the Illuminati."
Say something real quick. We should probably do like an audio check.
Something real quick.
All right, yeah, that's probably gonna be fine. And if I'm saying something, where am I at? Hello. Yeah, we'll probably get there. All right, perfect.
Oh, I love that. I love the new outline is very good. We need to change the thumbnail to this new thing. But we want to drop the link in the Discord. All right. Just listen to us bullshit for 10 minutes. There we go. Also, Champagne Room is kind of a double entendre. This should just be
now they can hear me on this page, so we can just meander while we chill for a second. Starting soon. Yeah, man, this new interface is nice. It's gonna look nice. Also, Will, we do see you in the chat. And we're gonna get started soon. We got new clips. A nice starting soon screen's got some new clips behind it. Some updated pandemic era.
Will says the late night breakfast.
Funny enough, I actually did have breakfast or supper.
I had Whataburger like 10 minutes ago.
Damn, dude, that's pretty recent. I had, God, what did I
There was a dude that tried to go through the drive-thru with a tractor on his truck.
Really? That's some next level shit.
It did not work.
Callie went through a drive-thru once with on a horse. she did a ride through.
I walked to Sonic one time, rode my bike.
Did you?
Yeah. Smacking directly into the microphone with these Skittles. This is now an ASMR mouth sound podcast.
No. I can't even. No, that's not even coming across. You're good. Yeah, so I figure this is going to be kind of a chill week. We'll just sit back, relax, have a nice little quiet podcast. There's not a whole lot to talk about, but we mess with the new interface.
There's like 6 games to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Good old Acorn State.
Acorn State. I love that.
I really hope the new NCAA game has FCS teams. So you can take an HBCU to the national championship.
I mean, everyone knows that the Raging Cajuns deserve a natty.
They do. They really do.
God, I can't wait to make picks. This year we got to track our picks.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up to you. We need a pick tracker.
We do need to do that for sure.
We don't have to do that this week, but
that might be part of our scroll bar, which they haven't seen the scroll bar yet. Get ready, Will. I know you're the only one here right now, but get ready. We got a scroll bar now, and that sucker is nice.
There's 2 people watching, and one of them is me.
Yeah, I just see one. It doesn't even register you.
We want to make sure our audio is working.
Yep, yeah, we're good. Oh yeah, here we go. 10 seconds, baby. I got that Wisconsin layout from last year when they beat Penn State.
You mean Indiana?
Indiana, what am I talking about? Let me get the background music going. Ooh. Ooh, we had 0. Ooh, welcome.
What's up, everybody?
We're here. We're live.
It is the most wonderful time of the year.
New look, new interface.
Look, for sure. So Daryl.
So Spencer.
The song says the devil went down to Georgia.
Correct.
That implies one of two things. Either A, the devil is a Yankee, or B, that Georgia is lower than hell.
I mean, you know what? Evil always fails. And boy, if you are a fan of Georgia, if you're a fan of the Atlanta Falcons, you can't go to a big game and come out on top. That's a shame, but that's the truth, man.
Head canon, it's the latter.
Yes, exactly.
Georgia is lower than hell.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the case. But then again, it could be also the former. Maybe the devil's from the north. I don't know. Maybe he's north of the wall.
Could be.
Either way, I like that. That was good.
He could be north of that old Mason-Dixon line.
There's no way you came up with that.
I didn't. I stole it from Twitter. I get most of my jokes from the internet. Just gonna let you know.
I mean, as we all do. We're all plagiarists. The internet makes it way too easy.
Wasn't there a quote by like Mark Twain talks about how we're all plagiarists?
It was either Mark Twain or C.S. Lewis, if I remember right.
I think it was C.S. Lewis.
Will says pearly ass foreheads. Yeah, we got like weird lighting. Will, we got to figure our damn lighting out. Our situation is weird.
Yeah, it's very dark in my room, and I turned the big light off because it was creating this weird lens flare at the top of my thingy.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, similar. For
am I coming through good for you, Daryl? Like right here.
Beautiful, loud and clear, my guy.
Good.
Well, welcome guys to a casual Friday here on the
Very
Hash
casual.
Browns and Hash Marks Show Game Day Breakfast Podcast. The name shuffles around a lot.
It's the Game Day Breakfast Podcast on Hash Browns and Hash Marks YouTube channel.
Right.
We have a Twitter account now.
We do.
It's at capital H _ capital H Hash Browns.
Let me look that up real quick.
At H _ Hash Browns with a capital H, because that was the most creative thing I could come up with when I made the account.
At H underscore hash brown. Say it one more time for the people back. There it is. Beautiful. Okay, let me get that on screen for all the lovely folk here. That is one. How many? We got no tweets. Look at that. We got 4 followers. Hell yeah, dude.
And we're following a bunch of football accounts.
We are cooking. We are cooking with fire. There it is. Go follow that shit.
It's already more active than our Facebook page ever was.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, we probably need to delete that. That Facebook page was poo cheese, man. That thing.
It is more dead than who has a dead career right now. I was gonna shit on somebody's career. Maybe we shouldn't go that route. Maybe we don't want to start the season out that hot.
So Daryl, I need to make an amendment to something I mentioned 2 podcasts ago.
All right, I probably won't remember, but let's hear it.
Remember when I told you that Dakotas Crawford was going to be at LSU this year?
Oh no, did he flip his commitment?
No, he's just not. He's class of 2022. He's not going to be there till next year.
Okay, but he still might face off against
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
What's the guy's name?
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, yes, Kool-Aid and Dakotas.
McKinstry. Also,
real names.
I need to tell you something about Kool-Aid.
Not made up.
We have NIL now.
Yes.
And people are sponsored by stuff. Kool-Aid McKinstry is sponsored by Kool-Aid.
Already?
I'm not kidding.
Already?
Yeah. Already. I follow him on Twitter and Instagram now.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid is sponsored by Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid McKinstry. Here we go. And for those that don't know, NIL, Spencer's talking about name, image, likeness. You can now, as a college football player, as an amateur, benefit off of your own name, which is, how most things work. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Sponsor. I'm just going to look up sponsor and see. It said SpongeBob.
Sponsored by Kool-Aid.
Alabama's DB DeQuincy Kool-Aid McKinstry lands partnership with the Dream Company. The University of Alabama's Crimson Tide defensive back DeQuincy McKinstry landed a partnership with Kool-Aid after being in the game Kool-Aid for most of his life. Wow. So apparently that's actually his real name. That actually is his nickname. His real name is DeQuincy.
Yeah, DeQuincy.
But that's sort of like Tiger Woods' his real name is like what's Tiger's real name? It's like Eldrick.
I thought it was
Eldrick
Tiger.
Woods. Eldrick Woods, that's his name, but he goes by Tiger, and that's kind of what he's always done.
But like Kool-Aid is what it is on the official roster. Like if you look at Alabama's roster file, it's Kool-Aid McKinstry. I hope he does good because he wears jersey number 1, and I love it when players wear number 1.
You're obsessed with that number 1 jersey, man.
Especially when it's on a quarterback.
Which is funny because you're not you've never boisterously been a big Kyler Murray fan.
Oh, I love Kyler Murray.
Oh, you do, really?
He's great. Yeah.
For some reason, I had it in my mind that you weren't a big fan of his at one point.
Oh, I love Kyler Murray. I wish he would have stayed at A&M, but
Maybe I made that up.
he wouldn't have won. I don't know if he'd have won the Heisman if he just stayed at A&M.
I do like him being with Cliff Kingsbury because that is
The coach who recruited him.
thunder and lightning. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm too far to one side of the screen.
A teeny bit, but that's okay.
Which way do I need to move?
To your right.
To my right?
To your right.
So closer
Beautiful.
to my microphone.
Yes, closer to your mic. Beautiful. I'm not gonna lie to you. It does look like there's just a moon in the top left corner of your of your thing. I mean, it's fine. Don't grope the moon, please. This is a PG show, Spencer. That's a lie. We curse a lot. It's PG-13, but maybe don't grope the metaphorical moon booby there. Well, what the hell are we here to talk about, man? It's week 0. There's a couple games, but there's also a couple things. As you guys can see at the top, we have a scroller bar now. So we have a couple different little sort of topics that we can speak on. Mm-hmm. I didn't know about the A&M defensive tackle being arrested. I don't even know that.
Yeah, he's been suspended from the team. Clemens, last name Clemens.
Oh,
apparently he was a starter.
Michael Clemens?
I think so. Where's jersey number 2?
That ain't good. They need him.
Yeah, there was another defensive tackle that was also arrested.
Also at A&M?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, Clemens got arrested for possession of less than 2 ounces of marijuana, possession of a firearm, and he didn't have a driver's license. He's been suspended from the team.
That's the cocktail right there. That's the dynamic cocktail that'll do it.
Yeah.
You can get away with one of those things. You can get away with maybe
Not
2
all,
of those things.
Not all 3.
3 strikes, you're out, Chief.
Pick 2 of these things.
Yeah, exactly. That ain't gonna work, man.
You have one of these in your car, you have some of this in your car, or you don't have a driver's license.
I wonder if they're gonna, since he plays for Jimbo, I wonder if they're gonna do the thing where, like, in the middle of the season, once he's back or whatever, if like if they're gonna do the Jameis Winston thing, and somebody interviews him and asks him about it, and he has no comment and walks away. Remember that whole debacle with Jameis?
Yeah.
People forget Jameis was kind of wild.
Yeah, I love Jameis though. He got named the Saints starter.
Yeah, he got the nod. He's starting for the Saints. So,
now he's going to have a good offensive line and be in a good system under Sean Payton. I think Jameis is going to flourish. Will he be as good as Drew Brees in New Orleans? I doubt it.
He might be trying to eat a W. Huh? I can't. Who said? I can't believe he said that to this day.
Yeah, I love Jameis.
It was the most. For those that don't know, there's a video out there, and this is something we should probably mention because it's funny as hell. Go ahead.
One of my favorite things about Jameis Winston is when he first came to the league, because like when you're in the NFL, you have to do all kinds of media and interviews, and like him and like Marshawn Lynch and like there are several other ones that just hate all the media BS.
Yeah.
And he told the lady, he was like, "Look, I don't talk that good. Some of my stuff is going to come out sounding weird."
It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same energy as the time that Cam Newton was like a lady asked him a question about a certain route. He goes, "It sounds kind of weird,
hearing a woman talking about routes.
Female talk about routes." Like,
yeah, he was out of pocket for that shit.
We were like, he actually was acting like the Batman supervillain that he dresses as. Yeah. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, Cam
Newton is a Joker henchman, like 100%.
You gotta love Cam though. He's just such a character.
I love him.
But yeah, so Jameis Winston, this is the video of him trying to eat a W. He's trying to get the team really hyped up, but then he just look at his face. He's trying to get the team hyped up, but like no one buys it.
I want everybody to look at me.
Hang on a second.
It's crazy. I say one thing. No.
It's playing right now.
Oh, okay.
That's a W.
Can they hear it, or are they just watching it?
That's E1. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight? Come in.
Jameis is great.
Nobody was buying it. They were like, yeah, all right, man, it's cool. Whatever, man.
Jameis is a character.
Love that dude, though.
I love characters like Jameis in football. Daryl, I gotta get you a mag slider lid for your Yeti.
What are you talking about?
I gotta get you the lid with one of these.
I got one.
No, but does yours have the little slider?
I have one. I don't have it attached, but I do have one.
Okay.
Don't listen, man. Don't try to come on this podcast and show me up with your goddamn Yeti tech. All right. I drink water just as fine out of this particular lid. If I had a plastic cup, you still have something to say about it. You leave me and my goddamn Yeti alone.
Just joking. Anyway, I just today learned a very interesting fact about how a very prominent team in college football got their nickname.
Do tell.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish got their name the Fighting Irish because way back in the day,
Lucky Charms.
No, it's a little worse than that. Way back in the day, there's I'm not gonna say the name of this group, but there is a group of very bad people who are a fan of sheets. They're a fan of robes.
I catch your drift.
They like dressing in a lot of white.
Right.
Okay, so
Trick
they decided
on Halloween they dress as ghosts. Right?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
obviously.
this very group of very bad people who are a fan of robes.
Right.
Decided they were going to hold a rally in South Bend, Indiana.
They really like a certain letter.
They do.
Continue. I'm sorry.
If you haven't gotten it yet, anyway, they decided they were going to do that, and Notre Dame was full of Irish Catholic kids, and they were like, "No, sir, not having this." So they ran this group of people off.
Really?
Yep. They ran them out of town, and they were like, "Nope, we're not having that around here." Another cool story I heard from this situation. There was a set of apartment buildings that had a grocery store, an Irish grocery store in the bottom of it. And there were people who were sympathizers with this particular group. And
wow, what a time that must have been then. For there to be sympathizers for that group.
Yeah, they in the windows of their apartment had there's an activity that this group likes to do. They like to take a certain symbol and do things to that symbol. They had that symbol made out of light bulbs, showing what that. So these Irish kids went to the Irish grocery store and got potatoes and busted out all of the windows and all of the light bulbs out of these things that were in the window because they were like, "We're not having that." There was one
That's beautiful.
apartment. There was one apartment they couldn't quite get to, so they went and got the quarterback from the football team and had him throw potatoes to knock down the last one. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Also, look at this.
I learned that today.
That's interesting. I had no clue.
I learned that because there are people who are upset right now that they say that the human mascot for Notre Dame is racist because it's a leprechaun, but a leprechaun is a fictional character. And also currently that leprechaun is portrayed by a black man. So it's like a double one of these. It's a double one of these to that group and sympathizers of that group that they got their name from running that group out of town, and their mascot is being portrayed by a black man right now.
See, interesting, because I'm on Google right now, and it should be showing on screen. There's actually, it looks like there's different mascots depending on what time it was. Maybe there was a particular, yeah, interesting. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Notre Dame gets fiery defensive leprechaun mascot after a survey deems it offensive. Yeah, it's one of those things where on the surface you could potentially see how that would be offensive, right? You might look at that and go like, oh, I don't know if that's really very tasteful. But once you understand the origin, once you know the full context, that does sort of change things.
I mean, even though a leprechaun is a fictional character,
right?
There's still like a parody of Irish people. It's like but still
it's a trope, you know.
Yeah, but I don't feel like Notre Dame goes out of their way to like say anything like to like. It would be.
They're not exploiting it to the degree that it should be offensive. It's just offensive if you really, really think about it and not knowing why it's that way. You know?
But the people that are offended by it are the ones who sympathize with the group we were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. It's like those, like it's because anyway. It's quite a lot of this goes like very far beyond the scope.
No,
of this
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But
honestly, just the story itself is interesting, and
it's very interesting,
and it's ironic, right? It's ironic that all this time later, the folks that are upset about it were originally the folks that were, you know, apparently being taken out by potatoes, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How versatile are potatoes?
You could do anything with them.
You get to run a mob out of town, and you get to have French fries.
And you get to eat them. Apparently, you can power a light. You could power a light bulb with them. There's a potato battery. Isn't that a potato clock? That's a thing that exists, I think.
Vodka is made out of potatoes.
Really?
Yep.
Just to show how little I know about alcohol.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the other headlines we have? A Big 12 and serious discussions with who is it? BYU about
Brigham Young.
Big Rum Young. Can I talk correctly? Brigham Young.
Yep.
Big Ram Young. Brigham Young.
Going from one religious extreme college to another one.
That's another thing that makes college football unique is because in the
All
NFL,
the religious schools.
they're all the religious schools because they are schools. They're not giant, massive corporations. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
But they're not. They are. It is acceptable for a college to be a certain denomination. It's acceptable for a college to do a lot of things that an NFL team can't get away with.
Houston Baptist University, Southern Methodist University,
Yes.
Texas Christian University. Did you know that Boston College is a Catholic university?
Is it really?
Yep.
I had no
Boston
clue.
College is Catholic.
Well, and it's interesting because if you think about it, could you imagine the ramifications if the Los Angeles Rams came out and they were like, "Hey, guess what, guys? We are officially a Lutheran team."
Yeah. People would go absolutely bananas
Yeah, I mean,
over that.
it just goes to show that college football is so unique in that regard because it's schools, Or maybe it's not the cool. I don't know. And also another quote here is that Steve Spurrier predicts that Florida will upset Alabama this year. Is that true?
Play week 3 in the swamp.
Let me look
Spurrier
at
predicted
let me look at that. Let me look at that hollow schedule because I'm not saying he's wrong, but I am saying he's old and could very well.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of preview of some of the stuff that I'm gonna predict this season.
Oh, let's hear it.
Of what I think might happen.
Please. And still
Alabama's starting the year 1 and 2.
You're on. No, you're wrong.
Yeah,
You're wrong.
I don't know about that.
You're on something. Whatever you're on, I want.
Alabama's starting the year 1 and 2, bruh.
Okay. Well, let's look at their schedule when we could talk about this. You're not telling me seriously that they're going to lose to Miami. You are not serious right now.
Look at all the parts they replaced. They just replaced Devontae Smith, Najee Harris.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
I don't. Okay. I'm just look at the quarterbacks. Look how good De'Aaron King is for Miami. Look at Bryce Young. He's inexperienced. Bryce Young is very good, but he's inexperienced. It's going to be it's a neutral site game. Bryce Young hasn't played in any of those. De'Aaron King has. I'm just saying, look at all the stuff that Alabama lost. Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. Look at all their Alabama's great. They're going to be good. I think Miami might get them over on one. But we can talk about that next week.
Yeah, but see, here's what you're missing, Spencer, and I'll show it right here. Miami's last 2 games, they're coming off 2 big losses. UNC, 62-26, they got crushed. At the very end of the year, their bowl game, Oklahoma State, they had a crushing blow, very close game. You think the Alabama game is not going to be close? If they perform like they did at the end of last year, they are not going to.
Oh, the game's going to be super close.
If it's close, I don't trust them. I trust Nick Saban to close games. That's what he does.
Oh, it's going to be close. Alabama doesn't get blown out. That doesn't happen. Except for like in the national championship against Clemson like 2 years ago.
You talk about fun though. Talk about fun though. I do think that would be an exciting game to watch.
Little sneak peek for a pick I'm making next week.
Little sneak peek for me too. I'm picking Alabama. I'm picking they're going to go into the half. It's going to be like 21-10 Alabama.
It's all about the U. I'm going with the Hurricanes and that.
Yeah, but here's the difference, Spencer. The U is not going to play any defense like this their entire year, and they haven't practiced against a defense like that.
I don't know.
Since
I don't know. We have no way of knowing.
We have no way of knowing, except for the fact that we do. Alabama all the way. Roll Tide.
Okay. I really think it's a 50-50 toss-up game.
I hope you're right. Right? Like I hope
if Miami don't get them, Florida's going to.
Will says Bama by a goal. I don't think it's even going to be that close.
I think it's very close.
Florida is always scrappy, but this is just something that they simply will not be able to.
Who does Alabama play week 2? Because they're going to blow them out. It's probably some.
They got
division.
Mercer week 2.
Yeah,
and that's at home. And
that's
then,
their tune-up game.
Right. Then they go to Florida. Now that's the game.
They go to Florida.
Yeah, but no Kyle Trask.
Steve Spurrier has said that Florida's going to upset Alabama.
Yeah.
Do I agree with him? You'll find out week 3.
Yeah, but Dan Mullen, listen, man, you're kidding yourself if you think that Dan Mullen is just going to go eagerly into this game. He's lost his last 3. He lost to Oklahoma, lost to Alabama last year. It was close against Alabama last year, granted, but he also had Kyle Trask. And, of course, as we know, as soon as that shoe got thrown in the shoe bowl and they blew it to LSU, things hadn't been the same. They haven't been. So, that being said, I'm probably still going to.
But also in their game for Oklahoma, they had a bunch of players opt out and decided to stick around for the draft.
Yeah, and that's true.
So they didn't have their full power. So, but yeah, a shoe can alter your whole season.
Yes, it can. Which is a wild thing to think about. That's still true. That actually happened.
Oh, I'm excited about it because it happened to my team.
What are your expectations? That's a good conversational topic. So what are your expectations this year? Because LSU took, to be fair, some big offseason hits. There was a lot of what's the best way to put this? Allegations, a lot of illegalities, a lot of things. The reputation of LSU has certainly taken a
things
big
that happened
drop.
in the Les Miles era. I don't know if anything has come out about the Coach Orgeron era. But yeah, looking at our schedule, my realistic prediction is I keep going back and forth between 9-3 and 10-2. Because I haven't seen us play yet. Like worst case scenario, we could go 7-5. Worst case scenario, I don't see that happening. Best case scenario, I see 11-1. But realistic, okay. I'm gonna say either 9-3 or 10-2, with losses to one of these 3. 2 of these 3, I think, our losses are gonna be to A&M, Alabama, and Ole Miss. It's gonna be 2 of those 3. But again, I haven't seen us play. Max Johnson's been named the starter because Miles Brennan broke his arm. Which that's what I want. Right. I feel bad for Miles Brennan, but I like Max Johnson better. I think we're gonna have the 2 best cornerbacks in the country on our defense, and Derek Stingley and Elias Ricks. They're both very good, very shut down. I think our defense is going to be nasty this year.
Make no mistakes. The LSU games this year will be very low scoring. Whenever you finally have that Alabama-LSU game, you better expect something like what we saw in whatever it was, like 2011 when it's like
9-6.
9-6. You're going to see that maybe again, maybe 17-10, 17-13. I don't expect...
Our defense is going to be nasty.
The over-under is going to be like 20. You know, it's going to be a very low game.
I think our offense is going to be good. But it's the things I'm worried about is other teams' offenses. Like, I think our defense is going to be very good, but we might get gassed and we might have to keep up with Ole Miss's offense. We might have to score points with Ole Miss. And I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Like, I think our defense is going to be great, but so I think it's going to be, I'm always going to pick, even though, yes, I want LSU to beat Alabama every time. They've only done it once in the past, decade? Something like that.
And it only took Joe Burrow and a national championship team that was...
It's like the best season ever.
Possibly the best college football team in history.
I put them against any other team. So I'm just always going to pick Alabama to beat us. But A&M's going to be very good this year.
We'll see. The defense for A&M will be very good.
I think the offense is also good. I think the offense is going to go how Haynes King goes. If Haynes King is on, the offense will be good. But yeah, I'm going to say I keep flip flopping. So I'm going to say 10-2. I'm going to lock that in. 10-2 with 2 losses to 2 of the 3 out of Alabama, A&M, and Ole Miss.
10-2.
Actually, I'm going to say 10-2 with 1 loss to Alabama, and then you plug in A&M or Ole Miss, whoever you think in the next one.
Cool. I'll write that down. Let's see.
What you got for your Aggies? What you predicting?
So I just wrote down yours. I'm just getting all these predictions written down. You can't really see because it's bright as hell in here. or my computer screen is flashing my face like crazy. So here's my thing. I agree with you. There is a weird thing this year that is the case with Jimbo, because at Florida State, the year before he won the Natty, he went to the Orange Bowl, won the Orange Bowl. The next year he came in with a redshirt freshman and Jameis Winston and went and won the national championship. He's getting a redshirt freshman this year. Sort of they changed the rules, so Haynes King was able to get a little bit of playing time. And basically a redshirt freshman again this year, and Haynes King. History could repeat itself. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Very different schedule than what Jimbo faced whenever he was at Florida State and had Jameis Winston. And of course, Jameis Winston is Jameis Winston. So, is Haynes King the next Jameis Winston? Are they going to tear up the SEC this year? I don't know if that's true. I think that they'll win a couple of big games. I think that they may very well seat themselves.
They got a big game against Alabama.
Right. They do have Alabama early, which is nice. Or is it early? Is it late? Which one is
October 9th, I think.
Hang on. Now I'm curious.
In College Station. At Kyle Field.
And they are at Kyle
Very
Field,
important.
which is nice. Let me go pull up the schedule.
Game Day might show up to that one. We might want to go. We might want to take a trip.
Yeah, we might have to do that. Oh, shoot. Not the whole schedule. I want... why can't all this information just immediately come to me the second I think about it? Hang on a second. I'm going to find it.
Talk about artificial intelligence at that point.
It'd be amazing. Tell them the story, Spencer. While I look this up.
Tell them the story. You know why they ring cowbells at Mississippi State?
Actually, I don't. I'd love it if you could tell me.
I feel as though I may have told you this one, but I'm going to retell it. Way back in the day, they were playing against Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl, and a cow wandered onto the field, and they took some time to get the cow off the field. Yeah, and I think they were down some points, and they got the cow off the field, and then they ended up coming back to win the game. Ended up winning the game, so they saw the cows good luck charms. So they kept the cow as a pet and probably ate it eventually. I don't know, but they kept the bell, and they would ring the bell, and then that started as a tradition.
Beautiful. I think you have told them that you said that, but that's interesting. So let me tell you about my take on A&M's schedule this year. I don't know how well they're going to do. I truly don't. I'll give you my best guess in a second after I do some thinking. I'm looking at their schedule. There's a couple games that I'm circling. Actually, this is a pretty friendly schedule, all things considered.
It's very friendly schedule.
It's a very friendly schedule. And when you're an SEC team, and if you should happen to have a win over Alabama, which of course is going to be the crown piece on this resume, they're going to have to they're going to have to do it. It's going to be at Kyle Field. Haynes King should have plenty of time to settle into his role. He'll have plenty of experience. Nothing really prepares you for Alabama, but if you're going to do it,
there's a realistic chance that both of them could be undefeated.
Exactly, and it'd be a big game. But honestly, to be real,
no matter. Colorado's going to be ass.
They might be, right? And that is true. But if
remember last year when you were worried about A&M losing to LSU, and I told you don't do that at all because LSU's bad and A&M's going to win the game. This is the exact same situation, but 10. But
there's a reason. It's not the Colorado team. It is the location, because I just got back from Colorado. I didn't realize how much the elevation actually does change things. Now, granted, I am just a person, right? I have a normal set of lungs. These guys are athletes. They understand all. But there are Olympic people that go to Colorado to train because of the elevation. The air is thinner. It's going to be very different. So I think if this Colorado team can hang around, they could go the distance because they're used to this. They're used to the.
You make great points. I think there's a lot to be said about location and elevation in college football. I think there's a lot to be said about that. Aggies by 40.
I hope you're right.
Aggies by a whole bunch. I'm just letting you know. I hope
you're right.
Next week I got a location game that you're not going to be ready for, but I got a game that is going to be predicated about where the game is being played. The outcome is a foregone conclusion at this point.
I look forward to talking about it.
I do too, but we'll save that for next week.
So as I'm looking at this schedule, the games that hop out to me are Colorado. You look at Kent State, they'll win that. Colorado should win it, right? New Mexico, Arkansas, fine. Mississippi State, fine. Alabama will come back to Mizzou, sneaky game right after Alabama. Lots of talent on that Mizzou team, right? And it's going to be at Missouri. Last time A&M played Missouri, it was Johnny Manziel. It was 2014. It was or 2013 rather, and it was after things.
They play Mizzou every year, don't they?
No, they haven't played Mizzou since then. No, I take that back. They played them. They didn't. But the last time they've gone to Mizzou was with Johnny Manziel. They came to Kyle the next year whenever Kyle Allen was there. But yeah, Mizzou, that'll be a tricky game depending on how the Alabama game goes. But Mizzou has a lot of talent, very losable game. South Carolina, of course, A&M usually has no problem handling them. Auburn, you always have to look at Auburn. But this is the first year without Gus Malzahn. No clue what Auburn is going to look like this year.
Yeah, I don't know what Auburn's going to be this year.
You know, I mean, like I said, I don't know that moving on from Gus Malzahn was the right call because he has been there. He has taken the distance before.
And now he's going to bring his offense to UCF.
Sure, and that's wonderful. And UCF is going to be. I like Gus Malzahn. I really do. I think he's a fantastic coach. So I don't know what they're. I don't know anything about Auburn's going to look.
They're going to go.
Maybe it's going to be a bust.
How Bo Nix goes. If Bo Nix is on, Auburn might be decent. But right. I don't think Auburn's going to hang around with the big teams. It's
a team sport. Bo Nix is flexible. You know, he can make some plays with his feet, but ultimately
they just got TJ Finley too.
Right. LSU. But to win games, they have to be a complete unit. The first year under a coach, one of two things usually happens: you catch a spark because everything's very fresh and very new and very exciting, and it feels good, or it falls flat because everything is changing and no players are comfortable with it yet. So Auburn's a coin flip. I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say it's going to be at home. I think they'll take care of Auburn. You go to Ole Miss. They didn't play Ole Miss last year, but as you say earlier,
Ole Miss is dangerous. Mm-hmm. Ole Miss is going to be dangerous in the West.
To me, it comes down to Alabama and LSU. I think A&M can win just about all of these games, especially if Haynes King plays to the ability that he needs to play at. Because I trust the play calling. I trust the defense. The defense for A&M.
Trust Jimbo.
I trust Jimbo. I trust the defense. I trust what's his name from Notre Dame that he's the defensive coordinator at A&M now. I'm blanking on his name.
Can't think of his name.
Yeah, but it'll come back to me in a minute when it doesn't matter. But the point is, I trust the defense. I trust the offense. It's really just going to come down to the younger offensive line and the younger quarterback in Haynes King. So, yeah, I'm thinking Alabama and LSU are going to be the big games, as they always are. But, I mean, you have a one loss to Alabama going into LSU. You're going to LSU. It's hard to win at
Death Valley, yeah.
In Death Valley at all. So, I mean, even with the one loss to Alabama, I think you're in the same conversation of last year. You win that big game against LSU, you're certainly looking at a chance
to make the SEC championship.
Right, exactly, or the SEC championship, or get a playoff spot. So, I think it's going to look very similar to last year. Give me 10-2 or 11-1.
Yeah, we say this every year, but this is the year. After 3 years of doing this is our third year doing this. Yes, we've said it the other 2 years. I think Alabama takes a step back this year, and I genuinely mean that. Yes, we say that every year, but they're still going to be very good. Alabama's still going to be very good. They're going to put a bunch of points on people. They do it, but they have a quarterback Bryce Young is very good. I think he's going to be very good, but he's inexperienced. Their wide receiver core is very young. They've lost all these big name receivers. They lost Najee Harris. Their best running back. but it's the culture, man. What makes Alabama so great is that they can. It's the culture, for sure.
They can plug these young players in and already know these young players can come in and already expect to win, already be comfortable.
Be a superstar. Overnight.
Exactly.
Like, and fully expect to learn a bunch of new names on Alabama's team this year because they're all going to be they're all freaks of nature down there.
And then the conversation will be for Heisman's for 2 or 3 of them next year. You know, the conversation will be not who is the conversation won't be who in college football is going to get a Heisman. It's going to be what Alabama player is going to be talking about a Heisman. Yeah. So I don't know that things begin to slide or not, but I do think that Alabama will be mortal next year. It's going to be one of those years where somebody can sneak up and beat them.
You mean this year or next year?
This year. Yeah. I think they'll be mortal this year because it is a young quarterback. You know, we saw lots of moments where Jalen Hurts, his first year at Alabama, again, very mortal in his first year. So I think that's what you're looking for. Bama's always going to be good, but when are they mortal? And this is a year this is a year they're beatable. So who's going to take it? It ain't going to be Miami, though. I tell you that much.
We don't know. In college football, the law of gravity is Alabama, and you better have a rocket to beat it.
So what are these week 0 games? I want to pick them, but I can't find them anywhere.
I got an anecdote for you.
Hit me. Let's hear your anecdote, please.
Can you do me the favor and look up the day? I think it's October 9th that Texas and Oklahoma play each other. this year. But
I'd be happy to. I'd be happy to do that.
I would like to know the exact date because I have something very funny to tell you.
Texas versus OU.
Yeah.
2021.
Red River Showdown.
Came really close actually to getting A&M Colorado tickets.
Really?
It's going to be October 9th.
Okay, I thought so.
Which is the same weekend as Alabama and A&M.
Yep.
Interesting.
This is a big weekend in college football this year. October 9th, the year of our Lord, 2021. There is a very realistic chance,
right,
that in the crowd for a game between two Big 12 teams, you are going to hear the chants of SEC. There's a very realistic chance that's going to happen because, as we discussed previously, Texas and OU are going to the SEC. I read earlier this week that is probably going to come to fruition next
year. Yep, next season.
So
they're going to pay. They don't care. They don't want to wait. They want to go ahead and get
that's pocket change. $76 million. That's pocket change to them.
They don't give a shit. And you know what it's going to be
like? They're
going
to make it back.
You know what? It's going to give the same vibes as whenever it's going to give the same vibes as whenever Bret Hart and the Montreal Screwjob happened, and he lost his belt, and he looked at the camera and he's like, WCW. It's going to be the same kind of vibes, man, because Oklahoma and Texas both want to pull a Bret Hart. They want to leave with the title, you know.
Yeah.
The fact,
which is why I really want Iowa State to win the Big 12 championship.
And honestly, why I think they could, because I still think that Texas is very mortal. Again, we just talked about it with the new coach over at
I don't know what Texas is going to be this year.
Sorry, I guarantee you that they will be a better team in year one under Sark than they were in any year with Tom Herman. Does that mean that they're going to win out and win the Big 12? No. I think they're still a young team. You know, this is not Sark's recruits, right?
I have thoughts about Texas schedule, but we'll get to that next week.
I think Texas is mortal. I think honestly, Iowa State is definitely the team you should circle. They're very talented. They're bringing a lot of guys back. The whole team. Again, Brock Purdy, he's pretty good. The point I'm trying to make with Iowa State is that this is not a team full of people that are ready to leave. They're returning a lot of starters. They were in the picture last year, and Texas still has to play the Raging Cajuns. So
that they do, and then they have to go play Arkansas.
And Oklahoma has to play K-State.
Yeah, they do.
Which they hate doing.
Yeah, K-State has their number. So let's hop into some games, Daryl.
Let's.
That's what we're here to do.
Tell me where to go because I can't find Week 0 games.
They're in our notes.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I'm gonna start from the bottom of the list. College Game Day tomorrow is going to be in Atlanta.
College Game Day starts tomorrow?
Yes.
Really?
They're going to be in Atlanta for Alcorn State versus North Carolina Central. I don't know anything about either of these teams, except I know that they're HBCUs, and I know that the Migos are going to be the special guest pickers. That's all I know.
Nice.
I'm going to pick Alcorn State because I like their name.
I'm trying to find the notes because I want to look at the actual, and I want to pull up the stats on all this stuff. Hang on. All right, let's see. Games, Nebraska. Okay, so here they are. For Alcorn State versus North Carolina Central. I guess we can call this the bottom of the barrel game, really, considering.
Yeah. It's weird that College Game Day is going to be at the bottom of the barrel game.
Hey, man, first time for everything. Alcorn State Braves.
Gotta pick one.
The Braves are the Braves. You'll love to see that. Okay. And then let me pull this game up, and then here it is, like the world can see. Both of these teams have lost their past 3 games. You'll love to see that. That's wonderful. Got a real matchup of winners here. Alcorn State Braves, North Carolina Central Eagles. They're going to be at North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a neutral site. It's in Atlanta at the
neutral site.
Stadium.
Oh yeah, you're right. Alcorn State is a 15-point favorite. I'm not going to fight that. I agree with you. I will also take Alcorn State. So pop. Now it's starting to feel like Popcorn State every time I say it out loud. Let me write it down. Let's see. Actually, here I'll do it in the notes here, and then I'll come back and save it later.
Okay.
Both of us are taking Acorn State.
Yes.
Cool. What else we got? Nebraska and Illinois?
No, we'll get to that one later. We've got Southern Utah at San Jose State. I honestly think.
Why are you reading them upside down?
Because I put them in order of like most importance to least. Anyway, Southern Utah at San Jose State. This one's a formality. San Jose State's going to win this game by a lot. Defending Mountain West champions with Nick Starkel at quarterback.
Starkel. Starky boy.
Yeah. I think this was a formality. I don't know anything about Southern Utah. So.
Yeah, San Jose State won 4 of their last 5. Most recent game was against Ball State, and that was a pretty tough loss. But, I mean, this is a team that's trending up. Southern Utah is a team that's trending down. Yeah, I agree with you. To give me the Spartans. Both of us are in agreement on that one.
Yes. And then we've got UTEP at New Mexico State. Not a very far trip because El Paso and Las Cruces, New Mexico are very close to each other. We've got Independence. New Mexico State is an independent. They should join Conference USA with UTEP because they're literally right there. I'm going to pick UTEP simply because a classmate of mine went there and I like their uniforms.
Talking about Day.
Yeah.
Let's see. UTEP, New Mexico State. I'm gonna go to. I'm probably gonna go in New Mexico State. Got to. They're another Aggies. So I'm gonna make sure everybody on the screen.
They also wear maroon.
The line on this one's a little bit closer. It looks like. UTEP is still a 10-point favorite, but this is still a very losable game. I think they're something at right. So that they're at New Mexico State. Am I wrong? Yeah.
They're playing in Las Cruces.
Yeah, no, give me New Mexico State. They never let me down, except when they do, which is always. So yeah, give me New Mexico State.
Not that we really pay attention to New Mexico State. Sorry, New Mexico State fans. And then I'm gonna jump around a little bit. We've got UConn at Fresno State. What happened to the screen? Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I had to move stuff around.
We have UConn at Fresno State.
Ooh, UConn.
I think UConn's real bad since they've gone independent. They left the American.
Tell me more.
I think Fresno State is a decent program. I think Fresno State wins by a whole bunch.
Let's see. ESPN tells me you were right about that. I will also take the Bulldogs in this one. That's at home. Give me the Bulldogs.
Yep. The Bulldogs. I love how you have our notes on the screen. That's very funny.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
And then we've got show. Next game. We've got Hawaii at UCLA. I will be watching this game because my LSU
That's the one you're watching,
I'm watching these next two we're about to talk about. My Tigers play UCLA at the Rose Bowl next week. So
you gotta scout them out, huh?
I'm gonna scout this team. I like Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the quarterback at UCLA. He's shifty, he's fast, he can throw. He wears number 1. UCLA has a good color scheme. UCLA is definitely going to win this game against Hawaii. I like Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
I like their color scheme, that dark green and black. Rest in peace, Colt Brennan. But yeah, UCLA.
Can I also just say, just real quick, that to me, especially in college football, there's nothing quite like watching something in the Rose Bowl. A starry night in the Rose Bowl is one of the best settings to watch a football game. This is one you definitely. Yeah, I do too. This is definitely one you want to watch, just because it's just going to be pretty. It's nice. It's always a nice stadium.
Well, this game isn't in the Rose Bowl, but the game against LSU next week is.
No, it's in the Rose Bowl. Here, look.
It's in the Rose Bowl.
Yep, right here.
Okay.
2:30.
I forget that UCLA plays in the Rose Bowl sometimes.
Yep, they do that. Yeah,
okay.
No, I'm with you. Give me the Bruins. Would love to see Hawaii do a little something, give them the razzle dazzle, take them something to take one from them. But yeah, give me the Bruins. Gonna be safe pick.
Then we've got the rare early season conference game.
Ooh,
we've got Nebraska at Illinois in the Champaign Room. Illinois plays in Champaign, Illinois, so we call it the Champaign
Room. So that I was wondering that reference. Hang on, so Illinois.
Yeah. They play in Champaign, Illinois. Although it's not spelled like champagne to drink, it's spelled a little differently.
Real quick, pop quiz. How do you pronounce the mascot of Illinois?
The Fighting Illini.
Illini.
Yep.
That feels like a Bible verse. Illini.
It is.
22:23. And the
The
Lord said unto
Illini are a Native American tribe.
It sounds like, oh, is it? Interesting.
Yes.
That's not what I would have thought that was.
That's what they are.
Huh.
Although the Illinois doesn't use any they don't use any Native American imagery in their stuff. But the Illini is natives. I believe. I think so. They don't use any, like I said, they don't use any native imagery in their thing. But yeah.
Was there not a recent controversy with Scott Frost? Scott Frost, right?
Yeah, they got like some like recruiting or practice violations or something like that. It's gonna be in Champaign.
I haven't been sold on him since he started there, honestly.
Yeah. Now that we've reached the Nebraska portion of the program, I need you to go into the drive, and there's a picture that I put in the drive.
I'll look it up.
That I need you to see.
The fuck is this?
It's one. Go under recents.
Oh God. Oh God. What a horrible mascot face.
If I had to see that, you have to see that too.
Oh, that's some like Chuck E. Cheese cursed energy right there. I don't like that at all.
It's like some.
Why is he like flipping people? Why is he like flipping people off in the picture? Look, what is he doing?
I don't know why he's flipping Ronald Reagan off. I really don't.
Yo, boy, you like my hat?
Yeah, that's little. I think that's Little Red or whatever his name is supposed to be.
He has like too many teeth.
Yeah, it's
horrifying. They just keep going.
Yeah, I need you to see.
That's what you should have put in the. That's what you should have put in the thumbnail, Spencer.
I thought about it.
I'm really disappointed that was not what ended up in the thumbnail. That is what a treat. Every time I go back over here, it gets closer. Look at it. It just keeps zooming into his face. Oh no.
But yeah, so I am going to choose Illinois in this game.
Okay.
They're at home. They've got new head coach Brett Bielema. I think this is the last year of the Scott Frost experiment at Nebraska.
Yeah, kind of agree with you, man.
I think this is the last year. And it may not even last the full season. I think he might get halfway and they're not doing good.
Look, there's some assistant coach on Nebraska's team right now, just like, yes, let me be the who's the guy that took Urban Meyer's place at Ohio State?
Ryan Day.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to be the next Ryan Day. Let me go ahead and pick this up real quick. I got you. No big deal. Ryan Day honestly was the most fortunate man in college football because all he had to do was just adopt a team with incredible talent, already had the work ethic.
Yeah.
I mean, he honestly, it just fell into his
historic
lap.
program.
Exactly.
Yeah. So who you picking?
Yeah, give me the Illini, man. Seriously. They got Bielema, my boy. My favorite point of Brett Bielema's career was after he beat who was it he beat? He beat Ole Miss one year, and everyone was like,
25.
Oh, 4th and 25. So after the game, he's so exhausted. They're like, well, what do you what are you most looking forward to after this game? He goes, I just can't wait to get home and get on my wife. I mean, I get on the plane and call my wife. Like they were like, dude, it's your wife. It's cool. Love that dude so much. I was really sad over Arkansas. He was a Razorback coach, man. Love that guy.
I like Sam Pittman though.
Coach Pittman. Like Sam Pittman. He's I agree. I do think he's a great fit for Arkansas as well. But yeah, give me the Illini here. I'm with you. I like Bielema, and I don't like Scott Frost. I don't think he's the fit. I think that this could be an ugly loss. Yeah, I think this could be an ugly loss.
Although Nebraska is favored in this game.
Of course, because it's Nebraska and it's preseason. So,
I mean, this game counts, but it's just weird that it's a conference game so early in the season.
Yes, it really is.
But yeah, speaking of Illinois, we like to talk about uniforms around here. Illinois has new helmets this season. Redesigned helmets. They're on their Twitter, Instagram.
I
should have provided you a link, and I did not do that. But yeah.
Football helmets, equipment, Twitter. I bet I can find it this way.
Yeah. New helmets, which is very in line with their nothing fancy, but similar to what they've worn in the past.
Oh yeah.
On the face of my city.
Just orange and white and navy blue.
Ooh, I forget that their colors make me drippy. Ooh. Why does that blue go so good with that orange?
Yeah. And then it says family across the front, across the top of the visor, but it's got 2 L's, so it looks like it says ILL for Illinois.
Oh. That the font on the numbers kind of goes dummy. Oh, I like this. I like this.
I kind of wish there was a white outline around the numbers because it would go with the helmet more, but I do like the new era of college football where there's no outline on numbers. It's just numbers.
Yeah, it's more of the minimalist finish, you know.
Yeah,
it doesn't stand out quite as much, but it sort of is more subtle, you know.
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm a big fan. I see what you're saying though, but the blue contrasts so well. That's not even really orange. That's almost a red. Like that's as close as you can legally get to red without it actually being red.
For
you
sure.
Feel me? Still very orange, but
just cool helmets. And
that's clean.
I think that's the only update they're making to their uniforms this year.
I like.
There's a bunch of cool uniforms that have come out that I'm not going to talk about just yet. But since we're talking about Illinois, I wanted to talk about those helmets.
It's gonna be a long season. We got lots of stuff to talk about as far as uniforms go.
It's only week one, and it's week one, and there's so much stuff I want to talk about already.
It's week zero. What was the thing? People, my arms don't bend that way. How do people do that?
I can barely even do it.
What the fuck? How do you do? I can't even. Whatever.
I'm gonna throw this thing up again.
Yeah, with the Illuminati. Well, this was a good show, man. I like our new setup.
How long have we been on?
We've been on for 2.5 minutes, shy of an hour.
Okay.
So we did about the right length. We stretched it out as much as we could. See, this was not a packed show. Usually, when we get to the middle of the season, you know, we're gonna have lots of games to talk about. We got to react to last week. We got to pick the scores for the next week. We got to talk about maybe a play. We got to talk about a uniform, maybe a song. We got a whole 9 yards we got to talk about. But today was sort of just stretch out and hang out. So this is good.
You got a song? You got a song you want him to listen to? Will, are you still here?
I think Will is still hanging out technically.
Yeah,
he did say earlier
Gators,
but he did say way earlier Gators by two goals. He thinks Florida's gonna win against Bama too.
I mean, hey,
Spurrier thinks so.
Yeah, kind of hard to argue with the old ball coach.
Yeah, you're right. What time is? So I will say this. I would love to catch a UCLA game, but I really do want to see that Illinois game. What time is that? It's tomorrow at 12:20. Is it noon on Fox? Yeah. I'll still try to catch that game. I'll still put it on. I don't care.
Game to watch.
Yep.
It's the game directly after game day because.
I'm at least.
No offense, Alcorn State. I'm not watching your game.
This is very sweet that you guys get a game day, but and you know what? It's going to be nice to have game day back in person this year and have Corso back on.
Lee
the show.
Corso is going to be there.
Corso will be there. He'll be picking his headset as usual. No game day from the Masters this year, which that's kind of a bummer. But the fact that we ever got that to begin with was spectacular.
So I'm going to be fully honest with you. I never realized why that was able to happen. I was like, why is he freaking out about this? Like, the Masters is the same time every year? But I didn't realize that the Masters is always in the summer, but COVID pushed it back, so it got played in the spring. Yeah. So it got played in the fall last year during football season.
Yeah, so. Which is, I was like, Spencer, why? I did have that thought. I was like, why is he not realizing the gravity of this? This will never happen again. You know, like this is a once in a lifetime literally.
I didn't catch it, and then this year I was like. The Masters were having, I was like, we just had the Masters like a few months ago. Mm-hmm. And then that's when it clicked. I was like, oh shit.
We did.
The Masters isn't usually during football season, but because of COVID, it got pushed back.
It's legendary to me that it happened. It's like my two favorite sporting things together at the same time. It was wonderful. It was magical.
It would be
It was kind of boring, to be honest with you. It was still depressing because there was nobody there. It wasn't the same. Yeah. It was cool that they were at the Masters, but it was not the same because there were no fans. It didn't have the same magic.
It would be like if Game Day went to they were out front of a convention center where there was a Magic tournament happening.
It'd be like, it's not quite the same, you know, like it doesn't have the same.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes Game Day so what it is the crazy fans, everyone going nuts. It was cool that it was at the Masters, and it'd be cool if it was at any other thing, right?
But it would also have been weird at a golf event for people to be going nuts behind them.
Yes,
because golf is a very quiet sport.
Except for on Sundays, whenever the leader's walking down 18, that's when everybody goes nuts, right?
Yeah.
And Will says hopefully it won't, or if it does, for a better reason. I'm assuming you're talking about going to them going to the Masters. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully we don't have to go through that road again, because that would mean we're in a pandemic and shit has to get canceled and rescheduled 3-4 fucking times over. So, anyways, football season is here, and that is the biggest win of the day.
Best time of the year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I wish I had a soundboard so I could just hit that Christmas song, just play that lyric.
It's the most wonderful time. Who sings that? Is it? There's like a billion versions of that song, but I feel like Frank Sinatra might sing it. Am I making that up?
I have no clue.
I don't know.
I genuinely don't know.
Well, this was a treat. We will probably. I'll probably make a couple tiny tweaks to the setup here. I don't know exactly what I'll do. I think in the top, I will, like in our little scroll, I think I'll probably record like what our scores were. So like I'll probably put in, who won the most last week or whatever. You were right about however many picks. I was right about however many picks. And that way it'll just kind of be there and we'll know about it. So
yeah, it's fun to test new stuff. I'm excited.
Yep. We got another little project that we're working on. It's going to take a little time because we're kind of behind on it, and that's kind of my fault. But we're behind. But we're going to get it. We're going to get it going. We got another project coming. Maybe we'll have some more heads in here at some point because I might have to do a little advertising on behalf of the show. And Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, some other dude from that era. Yeah, maybe actually, it might have been Bing Crosby. Now that I'm thinking about it, you might be right about that, Will. But anyways.
So. Will, I know Will kind of already know. If it's just Will already kind of knows. See, we were FaceTiming the other night while I was working on that thing we're talking about.
That's right.
But yeah, man, I'm hyped.
I am too.
I'm glad it's football season.
It's a beautiful time.
I have a reason to wake up early on Saturdays.
Gonna catch some college football tomorrow. I'm probably gonna watch the Dallas preseason. Probably gonna watch Hard Knocks maybe tonight because I still gotta catch up on this week. Have you been watching that?
I haven't.
Oh, because it's not HBO. That's right. I just remembered.
Yeah. I mean, I could get HBO, but
it's interesting. I'll tell you the highlight of it so far has been in week 1, whenever Dak's shoulder was kind of tweaked, and Jerry Jones is on the phone with like the pitching coach from the Yankees to like help them, get his arm fixed or whatever. And Jerry Jones, multi-billionaire, you know everything about Jerry Jones. He's sitting there like my fucking dad, sitting there with a McDonald's breakfast patty, breakfast McMuffin, and he's just dumping salt on it. I mean, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You could have a 5-star breakfast brought to you, but of course Jerry's got to have his McDouble, his McMuffin. So you got to respect it.
That was a story I heard about some coach. I don't remember if it was college or the NFL. This guy they went in. I don't know if it was a coach. I think it was a coach. He went in. He was like, hey, do you like cheeseburgers? The guy was like, yeah, I guess. He was like, what are you talking about? He goes, those McDonald's cheeseburgers. Do you like cheeseburgers? So he sent his assistant to go get 20 cheeseburgers and 2 family-sized things of KFC mashed potatoes and gravy. And that's what they ate at like an interview. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Will says NFL preseason highlights. Hold on, I got a question. Will, what's your question, man? We might be able to address it. Have you been catching any of the preseason stuff, Spencer?
I haven't.
I'll tell you this much. 82-year-old Roger Staubach could go suit up right now. He'd be a better backup than Ben DiNucci. I'll tell you that much. That motherfucker. Oh. You could go out there and play better than Ben DiNucci. I feel confident. How many games do you give a position a quarterback before you say he is a bust? How long do you give a quarterback before you say he's a bust? How many games, Spencer? How many would you say? If we're talking NFL.
I don't know. Probably 3 years. How long has Josh Rosen been in the league? Because that's what you gotta be to be a bust.
Well, I think
he's on his 5th team now. He plays for the Falcons now.
Well, I think it's how you define it, right? Because if you're talking wins, right? If your quarterback is playing well enough to be in games and you're just losing by a field goal or something like that, that's not a bust. That's a larger conversation. Now, if you're losing because his QBI is remarkably low, and your offensive line, you feel it should be able to get the job done. I think you got to give someone maybe 5 games in the NFL. I give them maybe 4 or 5 games, see if they can find a rhythm at some point.
I think a bust comes from a combination of expectations, like hype and expectations, and not living up to those expectations.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to think it's a job too. So it's not just a matter of fact of performing well in the ball game, but it's also being a leader. You know, you want a quarterback that's going to be able to have players rally around them. So I mean, if this is it might be 4 or 5 games on performance, but it may speed that process up or slow it down if they're a hell of a team leader or a terrible team leader. So I think that's probably what you do as far as NFL goes.
Excuse me.
If college goes, like if you look at a team like A&M or you look at a team like hell, even Texas, because they have 2 really good quarterbacks right now. You get 2 highly recruited quarterbacks, and you go maybe 2 games where it is just not going well. I think you start making changes after 2 or 3 games because it matters. You know, you can't be blowing games.
Especially not in college.
I think it's a tighter window whenever you're in college, and maybe you do a little bit more a swap back, a dual system, whatever it is. But I think you're going to see swaps happen a lot quicker in college because you don't have the time to dig around. You've got to get yourself some wins quickly.
Mm-hmm. So,
and Will, you're talking about, or you got some words about Lawrence from the Jaguars. The problem with Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars it's preseason, but the real problem is that
he's on the Jaguars.
Well, it's not even just that. It's specifically the offensive line. Like, they're not going to protect him. The Jaguars' offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL by far. It's just not something that they have really beefed enough. So, and
I
don't
have a
get me wrong.
bold prediction about the Jaguars, actually.
Oh, let's hear it.
I feel like Urban Meyer doesn't last the whole season as their head coach.
Did you see the reports I was seeing about how some of the players aren't really feeling him?
Yeah. He fired Tim Tebow. Like, I don't.
How do you at least keep him around just as
that's like his football son.
Yeah,
that's like an equivalent to a son to him, and like
Urban Meyer.
I think Tim Tebow was just like an experiment.
He might make it this season, Spencer, but I'll tell you this much: I don't expect things to go well. Now, don't get me wrong; I'm the biggest Jaguars fan on earth right now because the Jaguars are owned by the Khan family. Who is the Khan family? Well, Tony Khan, the son of, I forgot his dad's name, but Tony Khan, who is the son of that family, is the owner of AEW. So I want nothing but good for the Jaguars because that's more money in their pocket to go and sign Daniel Bryan and go and sign some of these Adam Cole and these other big stars. So
we have a person in the chat named Sippy Sports Show.
What's going on, Sippy Sports Show? Welcome. We're actually about to close up shop for the night.
Yeah.
You caught us right as we were closing, but thank you for dropping by. We'll be back next Friday.
For sure. If you're new around here, we talk about college football mainly. That's the main thing we do. This is the Game Day Breakfast Podcast on the Hash Rounds and Hash Marks YouTube channel. Don't ask us why it's about food. We just thought it was catchy.
It worked. Hash browns and hash marks.
So, but yeah, man. Thank you for joining us.
Hell of a show. Hell of a time. Enjoy talking to you, Spencer. Week 0. We love to see it.
Yeah. Next week we'll probably be live Wednesday or Thursday nights.
That's right, because you're going on vacation. So
because I will be on vacation next weekend, so it'll be earlier in the week. Probably I'm gonna say Thursday. There's also a lot of games next Thursday, so
that works out fine because we'll still have a lot to talk about. So
well,
all right, we'll definitely have to shoot. I'll certainly be watching the Illinois game tomorrow. I'll probably watch that. I'll catch a little bit of the UCLA game, and then maybe a little bit of the Dallas game that night. So no, Dallas plays on Sunday, the preseason game. So
yeah, I have nothing else to do tomorrow but watch college football. I think some guys are coming to work on.
It's that time. It's that time.
Do me a favor. When you wake up in the morning, just walk outside and sniff the air.
It's gonna smell different. It's gonna smell different. Yeah. It always does. It's that time of year.
So. Also, Sippy's Sports Show. If you're in the path of Hurricane Ida, please be safe.
Be safe. Yes.
There's a hurricane headed toward Louisiana right now. Please be safe, sir.
Safety is our number one concern for our viewers, of course.
So. But yeah, that'll about do it.
Been a pleasure, man.